everyone. It's day 2 in Stockholm, Sweden. Stockholm is so incredible that I had to make a part 2 to cover everything that we did. If you haven't watched part 1, go back and watch that. We had such an incredible day that ended super cold. It's a must see. But yesterday, schmesterday, today is all about new discoveries in Stockholm. We'll see Stockholm's charming little old town, the narrowest street in the city, a heartfelt search for a Swedish delicacy my grandmother made when I was a kid, the impressive German church and Stockholm Cathedral, the Parliament House and the Royal Palace where we'll catch the changing of the guard. And trust me, you want to stick around to the very end of this video because we sail out of Stockholm towards Visby, Sweden, through the Swedish archipelago, and trust me, stay to the end. Hi everyone, I'm Leslie, and I travel the world looking for everything crazy, different, unique, fun, off the beaten path to share it all with you. So thank you for being here. Thank you for joining part 2 of Stockholm, Sweden. If you haven't watched part 1, go back and watch it. There is so much in Stockholm you don't want to miss. You want to be sure to watch both parts. Today, we've got a lot of ground still to cover, so let's get started. We begin at the base of Varsbronten.
Marker.
Varsbronten, a towering 20-meter-high rock right by the cruise port. Stockholm is so incredibly walkable, and we're so grateful for that because today's journey unfolds entirely on foot. We're weaving through charming little cobblestone streets, seeing iconic landmarks, and one delicious adventure after another. Our first stop is Gamla Stan, one of the best preserved medieval city centers in Europe. It dates back to 1252, and this vibrant area is full of the coolest colorful buildings, narrow cobblestone streets, and quirky little shops. So what makes Gamla Stan so special? Its streets are like living museums, home to iconic landmarks like the Stortorget, which we will see, the oldest square in Stockholm. This area is just so vibrant with the coolest houses, little cafes, unique boutiques, perfect for just wandering around and exploring. And to be honest, on day 2 here, if all we did is sit here and watch Sweden, Stockholm go by, we would have had a beautiful day. It's so vibrant. There's so much energy. There's so much going on here just in this one little area. It is an absolute when you're in Stockholm. And wait till you see it. It's so cool. First, we have to stop into the Polka Gris Kokeri. It's a charming candy shop famous for its iconic red and white twisted peppermint candies known as Polka Gris. Polka Gris. They were invented in 1859 and they've become a Swedish classic. And watching them twisting and shaping them by hand is a treat in and of itself. We have so many favorite staff members on board the Ultimate World Cruise, everywhere from our room steward to the captain and everyone in between. One of them is our absolute favorite security officer. She is so excited when she sees us come back on board. She wants to hear all about our day. She's just so special to us that we want to stop in this little candy store and buy her a bunch of candy and bring it back on board. She has no idea. I'm not sure if she even eats candy or wants it, but just a little well-deserved sweet surprise. We find ourselves at Martin Rotzig's Grand, this narrowest street in Stockholm. And narrow. It's tight. It's an iconic alleyway that's just 35 inches wide at its narrowest point, originally named after Martin Rotzig, a German merchant who once lived here. This little gem adds a whimsical touch to the streets on the way to Gamla Stan. If you start at the Prostgatan Street and walk through the alley, you'll emerge onto the Västerlänggatan for the perfect route. Just a fun little gem in the city. Our next stop is the simply named yet stunning German church. This church's Baroque and Gothic-inspired exterior, built in 1368, stands proudly in Stockholm's Old Town. The German church, also known as Tyska Kyrkan or St. Gertrude's Church, is a prominent landmark in Stockholm's Gamla Stan. Established in the 14th century by the German Guild of St. Gertrude, the church reflects a significant influence of the German community in this medieval Stockholm. Inside, the jaw-dropping ceiling and the 17th century organ will leave you speechless. And the German church also has the oldest working drum in Scandinavia. Next up, we stop at Stortorget. This is Stockholm's oldest public square. This is what I was telling you to wait for. This is so vibrant, so energetic. The colors, just the energy in this area, all the little quirky shops and boutiques and food, just such a cool area. These main public squares are always so fun to me. I would love to just be able to go out and sit in with my community and enjoy, the entertainment on the streets. And, we live in the desert and in a city, and we just don't have these squares like this. It's just really cool. This area was once the heart of medieval commerce. It's now a postcard perfect spot filled with colorful buildings, the cutest little cafes. It's an absolute must see. We continue on to the Swedish Parliament House, which is a grand structure symbolizing Swedish democracy, right next door to the Royal Palace, which of course is the official residence of the Swedish monarch. And what timing we have. We're just in time for the changing of the guard, a tradition filled with, of course, all kinds of royal pageantry, military precision. I'm not sure about the precision part, but they were trying. And a powerful display of Swedish pride. It reminded me of the changing of guard, of course, at Buckingham Palace in London. And that also reminds me to remind you to go back to watch our video of when we stayed in London. We got off the Ultimate World Cruise and did kind of a 40-day excursion on our own. And one of our stops was in London. We love London. And we watched the entire changing of the guard in London. And that's way more military precision and a whole lot more pomp and circumstance than it was here in Stockholm. But it just was reminiscent and it was fun to see. So we stopped for lunch and we've seen reindeer everywhere in these recent countries that we've been visiting, and reindeers are for Santa in our opinion. So there is a hard no for anything reindeer related. We opt to have delicious Swedish pancakes. Next stop is the Stockholm Cathedral. It's a historic and breathtaking landmark. Look inside this place. The inside of this magnificent church, which was built in the 13th century, has a stunning organ, marble pews, and intricate sculptures, making it one of our most memorable stops today. One of the most notable sculptures is this 15th century sculpture of St. George and the Dragon, and the 16th century painting titled Vader Solstavenlan. It's, quote, the sun dog painting. This is the oldest known depiction of Stockholm, which depicts a rare atmospheric phenomenon that appeared over Stockholm in 1535. This Stockholm Cathedral is a must see. It was there were gems everywhere in here. This was a special cathedral here in Stockholm. So before we head back to the ship, I am on a mission to find Swedish Lefse. If you don't know what Lefse is, it's a very thin potato pancake. My grandmother, who you've heard me talk a ton about in my videos, she's super, super special to me. I carry her on my shoulder. And she was Swedish. So up until Stockholm, I had always had it that Lefse was a Swedish delicacy. And so I was so ready to get to Sweden because I figured we would go bakery by bakery by bakery eating Lefse. I have searched Stockholm for Lefse. I can't find it. Most of the shops don't even know what I'm talking about. So I'm a little like, that is so odd. And I actually went on social media because I was asking my social media followers. By the way, I'm on all social media at Point My Soul North, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. Thank you if you follow me there. And I asked the followers, what's the story? Has anybody heard of Lefse? Is it not Swedish? If it is Swedish, is it just grown out of tradition and no one knows what it is anymore? And several people responded that it's a Norwegian pancake, not a Swedish pancake. Now that's even odder because Roy is 100% Norwegian and he knew very little about Lefse when I met him. I think kind of Scandinavian, he knew about it, but certainly not from Norway. And so I was really questioning that, wondering if it really was Norwegian or if I just wasn't finding it here in Stockholm. But we searched literally every bakery in Stockholm I went into looking for Lefse, and not a single one. So Norway, I'm praying for you here to bring us some Lefse. Now here is where you need to go get yourself a glass of wine or your favorite drink, maybe a little snack, charcuterie board. Because this sail away from Stockholm through the archipelago at sunset, I'm just going to let it play out because there really aren't words adequate enough to describe this. So, goodbye Stockholm. Next up is Visby, our last stop in Sweden. And thank you, Stockholm, for being so amazing. Thank you for being so beautiful, of which you're ready to just roll out the red carpet here with this sail away. And thank you to all of you. Don't forget to subscribe so that you're notified of the Visby post. Thank you, as always, for being here and part of this journey with me. I'm just so grateful to you. I just love every single second that I spend sharing this journey with you and all of your feedback and all of your comments. And so don't forget to put your comments. And let's go see this archipelago. Sailing through the Swedish archipelago is nothing short of magical. It's mesmerizing, peaceful, breathtaking. It's just all of that, all at once. It's the perfect ending to our incredible Stockholm adventure. So until Visby, hej da och tills nästa gång. That's goodbye until next time in Swedish.